And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Neely FX. My name is Michael Neely, and it's time for our weekly Forex look ahead for this week. That's why it's called the weekly look ahead. I'm here with Henry, the Forex trading parakeet, who will also be working with me a little bit until it's time for him to go somewhere else. Let's see. Just the other room, I mean. I don't mean like, never mind. But anyway, this is the channel where I talk about foreign exchange trading, prop firm trading, and hopefully making money doing all those things because, as I say hopefully, because it is not a guarantee. If you are skilled, if you work at this long enough, then you might be able to develop the skills to make a profit trading Forex. I've been working on it for many, many years, and I'm still working on it every day. So that's really the thing. But you got to make it a habit to start trading profitably. But anyway, let's get into the Forex, the risk disclaimer screen, since that is what we are going to be. Since I live in the United States, and I'm pretty sure this is required by law for any promotional foreign exchange trading stuff. But anyway, by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, I think it's the name of it. Oh well, the CFTC. Oh well, this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute trading or financial advice. I'm a professional trader, not a broker, trading my own capital. I'm also an aspiring prop firm trader, a funded prop firm trader with a Velocity Capital, as well as maybe a couple of other companies. I do not solicit funds, manage client accounts, nor do I hold CFTC or NFA registration at this time. I have held NFA registration in the past. Forex trading is highly speculative with a high risk of losing some or all of your investment capital. Only trade with funds you can comfortably afford to lose. And here's the CFTC risk disclosure. Forex trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before trading Forex, consider your investment objectives, experience, and risk appetite. You could sustain a loss of some or all of your investment capital. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the what we expect this next week right here. This is the Forex trading or the Forex calendar I use because it kind of weeds out some of the smaller ones. There's always a lot of economic news coming out, but you want to get the main ones, not the main ones that could influence the market, not necessarily every little thing that could cause a pip to jump. But at any rate, Monday, tomorrow we have absolutely nothing going on except for core durable goods orders. That used to be a red envelope. Now it's a yellow one. I guess, or orange one. I guess it's not as of all medium weight news as opposed to heavyweight news. It's interesting how that changed. But at any rate, that or I'm remembering it correctly. After that, we have Aussie inflation information right there. That's an idea that's coming up. After that, Wednesday, we have. Look at that. We have Fed funds rate on Wednesday. We're going to see what they're going to do. There's also we have the Canadian monetary rate, Canadian rate decision, so that's going to be interesting. Right there at 9:45 on Wednesday. BOC press conference on Wednesday also. And then at 2 o'clock we have the Fed funds rate coming out. Should not be a shocker. It could be more interested in how Jerome Powell phrases everything. The FOMC press conference, probably the same thing with Mark Carney. Well, no, he's not. Never mind. He's not in the BOC. I don't know who the BOC governor is. It's not. I'm not going to look it up. At any rate, after that we have unemployment claims on Thursday, which is becoming more and more of a nothing burger, as they tend to drop below 200,000. And lastly, on Friday we've got. Core PPI. We'll have core PPI and Canadian GDP information coming out on Friday. So that's going to be interesting too at the end of the month. And then next week, if I'm not mistaken, the week after that, we'll have NFPs. NFPs are not necessarily my favorite time to trade, but we do what we do. Let's see. So with that, let's get back into this. We're not going to start with silver. We're going to finish with silver. Silver's a fantastic place to be right now. But I want to get into the week. Let's start on the weeklies with these because I've noticed that some of my trend lines are off and are not really there anymore. This, for example, this 4-hour resistance trend line has turned into a support trend line. It's not really there anymore. Weekly support has been broken right here on the DXY. So we'll see if that continues to be a thing. After that, we're going to be looking at a new trend line that goes down like that. And we'll get 2 touches on it there. We're not going to redraw the weekly right now. Weekly resistance is way over here. and it is invalid now. It has been invalidated because it's just been all over the place. I'm not going to redraw that one, I don't think. Although everything is getting awfully cluttered. Huh. At any rate, let's see. We're just going to leave the weekly resistance or weekly trend lines. I don't have any dailies in here, I don't think. Daily trend lines, right here. That's awfully squinched up. But our 4-hour resistance trend line, that's a mess. That needs to be way up here now. So that is our latest touch point, and it's probably not going to be hitting that for a while. Considering we're going to be looking at a 4-hour support trend line, but 4-hour support trend line's way down here on 96, 94. And if the Sell America trade continues, then that's what we'll have going on. However, the Sell America trade is not really affecting the bond market yet, I've noticed. So I think right now it's mainly rhetoric. But it's not really affecting the American bond market. It is somewhat, but not enough to really do anything. Also, I've added a new one, the Lux Algo Fair Value Gap. Don't really understand fair value gap. It's not something that was brought up with 20 years ago when I first started studying this. I'm going to have to play some catch up on that and find out what's going on with the value gap. But I think it's the same thing as the ITC kill zones, one that I had up here earlier, and eventually took off because it was did not really prove helpful. So with this, it says there's market inefficiencies right here that indicate that there's going to be a sell. I think that big red candle may have done that trick for that. But at any rate, here we have. I think price action works out better than fair value gap. And that's why I tend to pay more attention to is fair value gap. Here we have I don't have any trend lines on this one. This is euro versus the dollar, and I didn't go to 4-hour on that one. I don't think I need to. Maybe. We'll go to 4-hour anyway. And see what's happening there. Because here we have big market inefficiencies showing a great big sell zone. I think a big red candle does that trick for us. To show us that there's active selling going on. 97.45. It'll be interesting to see where it opens up later on today. MACD is starting to show a big strong downturn in the 4-hour. So we'll see what happens to that. Euro versus the Great British Pound. I'm going to back up to the weekly on this one too because I'd like to see what is the long term is on this. And we're seeing a lot of selling action right there. That is a doji and a half right there. So we should start seeing a lot more Great British Pound Euro strength over the Great British Pound this week, maybe, possibly. Then again, MACD is saying nope, saying no cigar on that one. Yeah, MACD is saying that might be a bottom right there, as a matter of fact. That's where these two are the widest, and that is the steepest. Could have a little bit of a turnaround right there. However, we have weekly RSI at 47.52. Hasn't really gotten above 50 yet for a turnaround. We shall see. Daily. Again, I don't think there's anything really to look at here in this one, except to know what direction, which between the euro and the Great British Pound is more dominant. That's the reason why I have that there. And the right now has pretty much at a tie. Euro versus the dollar. To go ahead and get into this. This is the next place I have trend lines. So let's go over here. Go to our weekly and let's see what we got going on. Weekly resistance is right here. That weekly trend line is garbage. As a matter of fact, we can probably delete that one. And there's weekly support right there. And this one is garbage too. So we have daily support right there that is still somewhat valid. And again, it just looks incredibly range bound. If it's not this could be a breakout. Could be. We'll see where it opens up later on today. We really want to see 1910, another 80 pips, and we have a breakout through here. Then it could go to, I don't know, 130 maybe. We'll see. But we'll stay on our toes for that. Let's go ahead and go to the dailies. I've already looked at my trend lines on there, and they are toast. I've got this one trend line here, and everything else is just flat. This is serving as a great big huge trend line at 1724, and it looks like we have a breakout 100 pips above it. We shall see. Weekly resistance since July of 2025 appears to have been broken. We're still not really ready to jump into that trade yet, but we'll see. This is going to be one that I'm going to be seriously watching. Pound versus the yen. I'm sorry, the dollar versus the pound. Dollar versus the yen. So dollar versus something. The UJ. Let's see what we got going on here with the UJ. As you can see, it's been bouncy, bouncy, fun on the weekly charts, all the way up to 160.896, which is the 2024 weekly high close. And weirdly enough, all our trend lines look like they're valid. So with all that bouncing around, it's still, trend lines are still pretty valid. You see the 200 pip dive that it took on Friday is really not that big in the grand scheme of things, because we could see it as low as 141, and I would love to see that. I'd love to get some buys in at 141, do some bottom fishing right around in here. We shall see. We do have that is certainly not a double top. Might be a double top. I mean a double bottom. No, it's not, because the trend line would have been way up here. That means this would have gone to like 205 or something like that on the UJ, and that's not going to happen, clearly. So we have starting to get some Japanese intervention in on that. However, this just because we missed the 200 pip move on Friday does not mean there's not going to be more, because we very conceivably could see this coming right back down to 148 that's the weekly close right there. A lot of support right there at 146. That would be a fun ride down. But we also need to watch out for MACD. I'm watching MACD and what else? RSI. RSI is way down here on the daily. Weekly hasn't even been phased yet. Nope, not yet. Showing a downturn, but not really coming down yet. Ooh, starting to get the little crossover there on MACD. So I think we might have a little turnaround there on the weekly chart for the UJ. Let's go down to daily. If we looked at daily, trend lines are holding, even though it is very, very cluttered. But it was going along this 4-hour resistance trend line. It's broken a couple of times, touched 3, 4, 5 times, and then finally broken here. Almost touched it again, and then just plummeted. 4-hour trend line. I mean the 4-hour chart. Let's look at this. This looks like the world is coming to an end. It's not. It's just a 200 pip decline. If you're new to Forex and you've never seen this in especially the Japanese pairs, it happens. They go up briskly and they go down briskly too. So with that, let's go to the GU. Pound versus the dollar. On the 4-hour, this looks like it's going to the moon, so to speak. Nothing goes to the moon in Forex. Everything is range bound. Even at you back out to a larger time frame, and you'll see that everything is range bound. For example, the high here that we're looking at is 137. Could go that high, but after that, we're looking at. When was the last time it was higher than that? Before Brexit, I think. Here we have, I guess 41.9 would be the 2021 weekly high close. Do I put a horizontal ray right there? Horizontal ray about right there. And we'll call that the one weekly close high. So it could be threatening that. After that, we'll come over here to an area of support or area of resistance right here at 139. How do I want to label that? July 2021 high close. Something like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do another one right there. And this is the part where we just kind of July 2021 weekly high close. Okay, I'll put that right there, and that'll give us some direction on the charts when we get closer to that. So we'll come back over here, and then right there we have the 133. That's at 2024. We don't need. We kind of trample all over that one, so we're not going to worry about that one. So, and then the 2025. I want to put the one there too. As you can see, I'm going to be watching this a lot. So this is the July 2024 weekly high close. Am I right on that? That label? June. So we got those levels mapped out. We could see a return to that, and that's what we're looking at right now, is a possible up to not very far, only about 80 pips for it's threatening the June 2024 weekly high close. And that's where we're going to be looking at some selling pressure. We could be looking at some selling pressure there. If it doesn't hit that, then we'll go to 139, possibly higher there. Depends on how strong this sell America or sell the United States trade is going. But let's go down to dailies now so we can see what's going on a closer level. All of our trend lines. Oh, this trend line is garbage. Right there. Take that one out. Since we clearly have a reversal 4-hour support trend line. That one's toast too. So the thing about trend lines, these horizontal lines are very objective, and the trend lines are very subjective. You've got to have and you can draw a trend line, as Michael Boutros says over and over again. You can draw a trend line between 2 points, which is the third one that validates the trend line. And I like that. I like the way he thinks. I've been listening to him, watching him for about 10 years now, so maybe longer. I don't know. I'm trying to think the last when my account got sold from FXCM to Forex.com. And yes, brokers will trade your accounts too. So if you're making the broker money, then they'll keep you. If you're not making broker money, then they'll jettison you somewhere else. So that's pound versus the yen, pound versus the dollar. Not a lot going on. We're watching this breakout very carefully. We're going to see if it continues past this daily resistance trend line. If it does, then we could have some fun times up to 137 and beyond. Pound versus the yen. Again, another one of my favorites. Let's go out to the weekly for a second. I may throw another FIBO up here in a minute, so I can maybe get some better direction on what's going on here. So we're looking at pretty much an all-time high, which goes back as far as anybody cares. That's going back to 2019. Oh, nope. Okay, so back in 2015 it was approaching 200, never hit it. I do want to put a horizontal ray right there, maybe. December 2024 high. Support level, pivot level. And before that it was back to 2011. Oh, look at that. (2008). Oh, the Great Recession. Ooh. So 2015. I do want to put a ray right there. maybe a point of significance later. 2015 weekly high close was 15. That was 10 years ago. That was the unwinding of that great big thing. And then up here, wow, as high as 249. And August of 2007, then the Great Recession hit, and it plunged. Risk off. A little bit of risk on in 08, and then more risk off after that. So 248 is the 2007 July. Seems that these things are peaking in July. I've noticed that. Very interesting. We'll do another one right there. And this is the July 2007 weekly high close. And this will just give me an idea later if I want to see just how far it's gone without having to scroll all the way back here. Putting the data where I can find it. October 07. These are very interesting too. I find these very interesting. Because it's it also shows me that the GJ has tamed a lot over the last 15 years. Over the last 10 years. Well, this is going back 15 years though. Weekly high close. Okay. Alright, so with that, that's about enough on that. Go forward, 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 forward. Forward, forward, forward some more. And there we go. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so that gives us a better idea of what's going on with the GJ. Then that way I could just do that and see if there are any dates that are pertinent between now and then. But looks like this could be a high close right there. The weekly shows again. I mentioned that 200 pip drop in the daily on the dollar versus the yen. And here we have the same thing here, except on the GJ, you know, the pound versus the yen, it's really not obvious. But something that's fascinating about this is how, now I've drawn the Fibos here. Get a little bit closer, you can see it better. Drawn the Fibos here from this swing low to this swing high, except I think I did it on the daily chart. I mean on the 4-hour chart. I'll move that up to the daily. And something that you'll see, if we extend that out a little bit, on this minor move here from June the 6th, or yeah, January the 8th to the 13th, and then dipped down, came down to the, is it the 100%? That's the 0.786 level. Took back off again to the top, and then dropped again. Now, if this is a double top right here, well, no, it's not, because the tops aren't equal. Never mind, it's not going to be a double top. If it were, then that means that the low would be, that would be the neckline right here at 211, and we'll have an equal distant drop from there. Would be 208 is what we're looking at for a possible low on that. And that would also be the 1.618 level. So this is a possible target right here for the GJ. Is 208. Not holding my breath on that, but that's just an idea. Put that right there. And that would be the December 2025. Possible sell target, and I'll put the date in there, 1/35/26. Okay. If that is the case, we'll have got another 400 pips before we get there. 450 pips before we get there. That would be a good place to make some money. I like money. EJ. I'm not as fond of the euro versus the dollar, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one. I like the pound versus the yen better. I don't know. Really, it's probably flip a coin on that. We have the same drop right here in the EJ, and probably the same dynamics going back to 2007. I'm not going to do that on this one. So with that, let's go ahead and get to the euro or the Canadian dollar versus the Canadian. Now this is the sell. Ooh, if that's a double top here, this would be the neckline. That means it far exceeded the neckline. Let's go to the weeklies. So I could probably have some notes in here thrown in here to see what kind of fun and games we could have coming up. So the February 2025 high is right there. Upside target, which it never hit. It's 142. Never hit that. Hit right there. That's a very weak uptrend right there. So possible target for this could be as low as 132.50. The 135.82 is also a strong support area, so I'm going to go ahead and throw another horizontal area right there. Call that the June 2025 weekly low close. So we could see a revisit of that. 2025, so really? Yeah, 2025. And then same thing down here, 134.82, August 2024 close, right there. And then I will be testing these when I watch Michael Boutros' video tomorrow. So that's possible targets we could be looking for the dollar versus the Canadian. If you're trading this going down, I'm not going to throw that one in right there. 136.73. It's a little bit too close to where we are. It's 25 pips down. That would be a significant area for it to break right there. If it breaks that, then we could be seeing 134, 135 come into play. Let's see, daily. Let's go back to the daily support. Oh, let's look at our daily resistance and support trend lines. Monthly trend line is almost trash. Almost all these trend lines have been violated. So we can probably pull all these out. Well, better yet, let's go down to the daily resistance is still holding. Daily support is not holding. Let's go down to daily real quick. Okay, bullish and validation, and we have bullish and validation right here. So this is the bottom I was looking at right there, 136.73. That's, you can see that clearly on the daily chart. We'll see if it breaks this 4-hour support level right here. I'm going to leave that one in there. It's somewhat valid. Daily support, nah, that one's toast. Close. I'll just take that one out. That one doesn't need to be there anymore. 4-hour support is kind of sort of there. Resistance, 4-hour resistance kind of sort of there. So the trend lines are starting to fall apart, which is fine. It means we've got a reversal going on. Okay, Canadian versus the yen. Canadian versus the yen got the same big pullback right there. 4-hour support trend lines have been just pretty much walked all over. Probably take that one out. Secondly, I've got it on the touches, not the close. So that one just validated it. That one destroyed it. And there's just all up and down it there, forming a little trading channel right there. And then the breakout to the downside right there. So we'll see if this continues. It most likely will. The Japanese intervention, they're pretty good at it. So we're probably going to see lower Canadian yen, lower dollar yen, lower yen on the yen crosses all across the board. If I see me wince a little bit, it's because I got some pain in my shoulder. I am wearing a shoulder brace. Yes, I'm injured. It's not fun Feeling a little bit better today from my little illness I had yesterday, but you know, hey. Oil, here we go. We have trend lines are kind of all over the place. Oil is not really going anywhere right now. Just kind of hanging out right there between 57 and 61. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that one. This one's kind of interesting. A lot of buying going on in the Aussie. Interesting, very interesting. We'll see how that continues. Go out to the weeklies and see what we can see for a potential upside target on that. Upside target's not much more. 69.41. Looking for an upside target of 74 2024, and before that we're looking at, we haven't seen a target that high of 71 right there for January 2023. August 2022. Put that right there as the January 2023 weekly high close. Right there. Starting to understand why Michael Boutros does this. It's kind of fun. Put this in here right here. It's another possible stopping point right there. That's going to be the June 2022 weekly high close. Weekly high close, and the theory is that it revisits these areas of resistance on a grand scale. Why? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. If that were under my pay grade, I would be... Oh, that's a beautiful double top right there. Look at that. Double top right there. Neckline here. Full retrace down to here. That's a beautiful double top right there. So we're going to put this in as the March 2022 weekly high close. It's another possible target. So this is just to see if we could have some targets coming up later. And again, that's about all I'm going to do. Before that, it gets way just out of proportion because that was before the days of COVID and the days of everything else. I want to say that the dollar versus the Aussie versus the U.S. dollar were actually at parity at one point, but I don't know when. I don't remember when that was. Gold. Let's look at gold. All that glitters. My favorite. This has been called the trade of 2026, and often called that. And we really don't have any speculation of where it's going. I mean, it's just going. It just won't stop going. So, weekly expansion from there. I'm trying to make some sense of this. This bull run right here, and get a. I can't speculate on this. It's just going. It's probably going to cross 5,000. Probably by 5 o'clock today. We don't need a FIBO in there, in the middle of nowhere. We've got really no speculation on where gold is going because it's never been this high before. That is an all-time high right there. All-time weekly high close at 49.87, 49.86, 45. Should cross 5,000 about 6 o'clock tonight. We shall see about that. Platinum, all-time high right there. All-time weekly close right there at 27.41. The U.S. Mint doesn't even have pricing on their platinum coins for next year. That's how crazy this is. Because they have no idea where it's going to go. They're only minting 15,000 of those coins, and they have no idea where it's going to go. Silver, same thing. 103.28. There is no wick on top of that weekly candle. So this is. Some speculate that it could hit as high as 250 an ounce. Silver going to 250 an ounce would make me a very happy man. But one of these, no costs. One of these. So it's kind of interesting how that works. But that's a Silver Eagle, 2022 Silver Eagle, 2023 Silver Eagle. I got them all over the place. And that's a Benji. So everyone knows betting on the Benjis. And again, we don't have any speculation on where this is going to go, because if we have speculate that the 261 has already been blown away from March 2025, or from the 2025 Open, I can't even see if I can get to 2025 Open. It's going to be about right there. $2025 Open. Open. I need to write down which chart that is. Henry, quit eating my hair. Eat my head. So we're out. And you have a bird like this one with a sharp beak. It's eating the back of your head. It's kind of distracting. So we're going to go for that. Was 30.4. Oh, Henry, come on. Come on, Bree. There you go. Go to your computer. Yes, Henry has a computer. So we go from here. No, it's wrong direction. Control. Let's just delete it. Go from here to here. Oops. Oh, come on. Knock it off. So many lines in there, it won't click on it. It's an awfully noisy chart. I got it. That's close enough. So let's see if we can see where the retrace on this is. From the weekly close, that's at a from there to there, 1.27. We're looking at a target of 123. From the for the full year of 2025 plus January 2026. Looking at the 1.27 of that move, we're looking at 123 as the next target. Where I see it. On silver. So at the rate this is going, this could be very substantial. Cancel. Message. I'm not creating an alert. Stop it. Oh well. Well, 123.52, 54 is the next target I can see on the on silver, and if it's going the rate it's going right now, it'll blow through that, and by the end of February, easily. Might run into some resistance from the London Market Exchange. They're the ones that are kind of keeping the price down the way I can see it, because the price of silver gets awfully choppy on the London session, and then after maybe about 1 o'clock American, then it starts taking off again. And the Asian session, it takes off. So I would not trade silver during the London session, because I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I don't think, I think we've got a lot of paper chasing a little bit of silver, and that's what's driving the price up. I've seen some speculation that it could hit 250 an ounce, because based on there's 400 times the amount of paper chasing 1 ounce of silver. So we'll see how that pans out. But at any rate, that's all I've got for the weekly look ahead. We're going to look for some excitement on these days. On Monday, could have some excitement tomorrow. Who knows? Could have some excitement tonight. I don't know. When the Asian market's open, looking for a continuation of the sell the U.S. trade that's going on in Europe. So they're trying to dump American stuff because they're mad about Greenland. But in the meantime, the Japanese and the Americans are getting exactly what they want, which is a lower dollar. So we'll see if that was just part of strategy or what's going on with that. And then we have rate decisions from Canada, or inflation data from the Australia coming out on Tuesday. Rate decisions from Canada, the United States Wednesday. Unemployment claims on Thursday. Probably probably a nothing burger. Inflation, I missed this one. Japanese inflation coming out on Thursday. And lastly, on Friday, we have core GDP, core PPI, and PPI in the United States, and Canadian GDP. So we'll see how that works out. But at any rate, that's all I got for today. Stay tuned if you'd like to see more of these. If you want to see more of these, then by all means, subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. And lastly, if you have any comments, by all means, comment on it, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So in the meantime, you guys have a great one. Talk to you later. Happy trading. Bye.